Oh, hey guys. So, it's what day is it? Oh, God, it's the 21st already of November. This year kind of flew, at least after the summer did. Like, it was kind of slow, then the summer hit and it was like, poof, gone. Like skedaddle. 2022 is already tired of 2022. But, hit 300 subs too, which... What a trip it's been. What a trip. Couldn't have done it without you guys though. You guys have been here for the ride, slowly getting, that following built up. It's kind of weird though, seeing that number of I don't know, the guys that are more bought in slowly grow. Cause I remember it was just, two, but really it was a buddy of mine and just one other person. I don't remember who came first. I think it was Ralph. And then it was Cot Jockey. I mean, Dan was the first, but I mean the second and then the third. It's like, now we're pushing 6 and 7. I mean, hey, so I've been doing this for 2 years, so I'm pretty much doubling every year at this rate. Okay. I had this YouTube channel started back, 2011, 2012. It's mostly gaming focused, and I didn't really post on any schedule. I just kind of did whatever randomly, and it was pure gameplay. Pretty much all it was. There was no boys, there was nothing over. It was just pretty much matches, and they were just highlight, mostly World Tanks. And even then, it was just pure gameplay. Which some people liked. It was a little weird, but some people liked. But I didn't really do anything to the channel, so really all this work has been the last 2 years. I mean, I had a little head start of 67 subs, something like that. But a lot of those were just friends and acquaintances I've gained along the time, along the way gaming. So it's even then, they're a different audience. They're just there, and I didn't help the channel grow anything. Me restarting, getting a different niche, whatever. There's 2 different ways you want to say it, depending on the region. But this whole channel is different now compared to where I started. So it was pretty much had to rebuild. I had to start over from scratch, even though I had those 67 subs on all the videos. That's all different stuff. So the way the algorithm works is pretty much I had to restart. And it's been a learning curve. Those who watch my videos know I don't edit. Now, do I eventually plan to start editing? Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be crazy amounts. But also, that's sort of going to come after I get my own truck and I have more time, and I'm not running, I'm not pushing myself to start. So that's still down the line. But we are approaching 2023. I almost said 22, but 23. So now I got to look ahead to what am I going to do in 23. And I figured out it's what I'm making this video about, just it's been a trip. 2022 has been an adventurous year. I mean, it literally started off with shithead over here almost dying and $674 for me. Yeah. Y'all think your pet's expensive. That was 1 week in a hospital. And I had a few people ask me why I didn't just let him die, put him down pretty much. Put him out of his misery. It's he's young. I mean, okay, he was, 7. About to turn 8 this next year. So, I mean, he's middle-aged, but that's young. I was like, would you put a 40-year-old human, 50-year-old human down just because they have a blocked up bladder, I mean, yeah, it's fucking them up. It is critical, but it's his whole pretty much intestine system, bladder, and everything was all plugged up. Well, not intestine. Although that actually became blocked, but it was only because all the pressure of the bladder. The bladder was full, you couldn't pee, and then if obviously those guys if you ever pay attention, if you shit, it puts pressure on your bladder, right? And sometimes you squirt out a little bit after you shit. So same thing. Like all those muscles work together. So obviously he was blocked up poop wise, but that's because he just didn't want to even put the effort in. Like he tried once, cried, it was like nope, and it was howl's pain. So I mean, we're approaching the 1 year anniversary of that in February. It was like February 6th, I believe, that happened. I don't know. It took like 5 weeks of that recovery from the start. From start of February, 5 weeks before he was really pretty much out of it, but it was like just had an online behaviorally came back to being normal. Like now he's fine. I mean, is he perfectly fine? Yeah. He went and saw a vet in August. And the liver was slightly elevated, so I mean, when I get home again, they said it was nothing they're concerned about, just slightly, just okay. I mean, so I'll get some more blood work done when I get home. I'll have him probably do a pee test just to make sure everything's fine. He'll be on his food at that point for over a year. His prescription food. It's pretty much just keeps his urine balanced. That's what happened. His urine became out of balance for some reason. According to the vet, this could just like that, and all of a sudden it just changed. And I guess it's really, really common. Mine was a more severe case, like his, not me, but his. But the food is expensive. It was on different food, and it wasn't like a shit junk food. It was, like $11 or 11 pounds was like $50. So it was high quality food, real dehydrated food, that is. Not a lot of filler. I think I was giving him grain free, so I was treating him pretty well. And he had been on that for like 5 years. 3.5? Something like that. So he'd been on that same diet for a while, and I don't know, just you can't predict it too. That's something I asked. I was like, can you predict this? And so he was pretty much on prescription food for the rest of his life. Hurt a little bit, but if he keeps it $7,400 in my pocket again, fine. But part of that was also I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know the signs. I knew something was wrong, but he was like, he plugged up subtle. Like he went pee before the splatter, and then over the next day and a half he just plugged up fully, and it was like okay. But now I know all the signs, so it's like now if it was happening again, I'm gonna be a lot quicker to react. It's not gonna just blindside me like it did. But now that's a little TLDR what happened, February. So and then the truck broke down over stupid shit. Just like 3 or 4 times. Spent like a month in a hotel across the year, so that kind of hurt. Some extra. That was about. Put that in perspective. It was about $8,000 I lost. Take home money, that is. So, ouch. And then let's see here. Switch jobs too. So So pretty much it put like a little hiccup in my plan. For all 2022, he was the biggest hiccup. Because if you think of that perspective, like a down payment, right? $15,000 to $25,000, down payment on a truck. It was like a third of it, third or a fourth of it, depending on how much I would put down. So that kind of hurt. Plus, I also wanted to put down payment down with some nest egg under me. So really, he put me a little further down than I wanted. Need a little luck on my side to really get this going. Now I'm a little behind schedule, only about a year, but I figured going into 2022, I'm gonna focus a bit more aggressively on money saving. Because I'll be honest, I didn't have that much saved. Because 2021 I was learning, so 2022 is really the start. Well, end of 20, end of 21 to end of 22 is really the start of me figuring things out. And I had like everything figured out. I was like, okay, I know what I did wrong. I was going to 22 doing things correctly. I went into 2022 with like 10 grand, which I figured, okay, that was going to happen. But I didn't do very good in my first year lease purchase in 21. But expected, right? It's a learning curve. But that does not mean it couldn't have been done. It could have. And honestly, I don't know. There's a few more changes that happened after I left, and I'm like, probably good thing I left. Because they're starting to intermingle more, and it's like, I'm not a big fan of that. Like, that wasn't supposed to happen for 3 years. It makes sense efficiency-wise, logistical-wise, some intermingle and have everything same set up, but when you're starting to pull the same trailer, reefer settings are changing. I don't know. I like being by myself and only having to rely on myself. I like my independency. The more I can put responsibility on myself and determine my own outcomes, the better. I've always been like that, especially like the last 7 years when I've become more focused on things. That's just how. That's part of why lease works for me. The lease purchase, whatever. You guys don't understand it. But it gives me some more, I guess you could call it responsibilities, where I can more determine things. Yeah, lease purchase JT is like, yeah, you said rely on a company, fine. But it wasn't like I really had to suck up to them to get things done. As long as but that's a totally different story. But going to 2022 or 23, I'm gonna push also for better content or quality and content on YouTube. It's only fair to you guys. I just gotta get home first. I'm gonna get, the mic. You're gonna start seeing out the windshield videos more. Shotgun mic though, so you're gonna get some better audio quality. Hopefully less background noise like the truck idling, which that will be going away here soon too. Eventually, because if all those gonna have the handlebars on the mirrors, you're gonna start seeing, driving perspective, backing perspectives like that. Time lapse is probably where you just look at all three sides, just see how I see it. There's a few other ideas. I don't want to swallow them too much, but I'm sort of experimenting as I go with YouTube. Because, like I said, it's a learning curve. But I want to give you better audio quality for sure. I also found out this phone can now do 8K. I kind of tested it. Looks pretty nice. I think it's going to help out a lot, especially looking at the windshield. And also, bigger resolution means it helps out at nighttime. Lets more things in. Downside is, like these 4K videos, they're about 20 to 25 minutes. They're about 7 to 10 gigs. So what the fuck is 8K gonna do? And even if I don't upload it as 8K, that 8K resolution can, that's what I'm talking about, the editing. But when I downscale it to 4K, it's gonna look better. It's gonna be an 8K video. So you have all those pixels 8K, or compressed to 4K, with all those pixels in 4K. Well, it makes the 8K downscale to 4K. 4K looks slightly better than the 4K. It's just, it's kind of like when you take a 4K video, upscale it to 8K, and then you're only showing on a 4K video or 4K screen or whatever. It still looks better. It looks sharper. Some people won't notice it, but it's like, I am a person that cares about quality, even if it's not needed. I just happen to be working with what I have. But like I said, my plan going into 2023, save up more aggressively. By next summer, okay, so this coming summer, probably August, I will be looking at putting money down on a truck or at least ordering one. Either way, the options I have, I'm still waiting. I ordered a truck in August 2023. Either way, I'm still waiting another year. Like, the truck's got to show up. So I'll look up I'll get some prices. Probably, I have some specs in my mind. I don't know what truck I'll be going with. The Volvo, perfect time to test drive it, see if I want that engine, because I mean what? maybe 80,000 miles by then. So, and then, I'll be in that truck for another year after that. I'm waiting for a year for a truck. So that'll give me some idea to see how I want. My next truck will have a table in it, so I'm thinking pretty heavily getting a Volvo 860, probably going to the Cummins, like a 308 rears, something like that. Now I have some MPG, but I'll climbing power. 260s? Nope. I don't even know what the fuck this is. I think it might be even 240s. I don't know, Scutless. I need some climbing power. I don't need insane climbing power. I don't need those fucking 379 rears I had in that T6, T660 I had, or whatever the fuck it was. The white one for a week. That thing would pull like up 6% grades about 50. Fucking nuts. Although it would run out near the top, but most of it would be up that hill about 45, 50. So at the top it kind of runs out of steam and backs off. But it was pretty nice. But it's kind of what we're looking at over here in Snoqualmie. Oh, okay, Bend, the TA. I'm not a big fan of places calling themselves snow something if I don't see snow when it's not snowing. Why is it not snowing? It hasn't snowed for like a week here, yet there's no snow on the ground. Or it's very little. Like Snowville, Utah. You see it dusting, that's about it. Where the fuck's all the snow? And then you see in the peaks, and it's like, okay, there's snow. But it's like, you're calling yourself Snowville. Where the fuck's the snow? Like, this place is not called Snow, but it's like Snoqualmie, right? It's like, I saw a lot of snow. It's kind of built up on the shoulder. I was alright. I get it, but it's not like what I expected. It's like, it's not Donner in the winter, It's not Eisenhower or Vale, pretty much. The other passes where he's like, okay, this shit ain't going anywhere for months and months. I don't know, like, tell you what though, my fucking truck's gonna have auto chains. Because most of the time they say you need chains, you don't need chains. You don't need chains. It's the other fuckers that aren't familiar with snow that fucks up for you that makes you need chains. Like, I've gone up Cabbage empty. And even if I wanted to chain, I couldn't because their fucking mother was parking the chain up areas. And I'm not going to chain up on the roads. I just mosey on up middle of the night, to be fair. I was like, I know how to drive and fuck the snow. I've never lost momentum from my own doing. It's all about knowing how to go, how to coast, how to go into turns, how to pick up speed, how to coast down into the turn, etc. Keep the momentum. And also know when to get the fuck off it. It amazes me, you see these people, right, climbing this pass, and they're like this up each other's ass. It's like, that person loses traction, guess what? You're losing traction too. And you're most likely gonna hit his ass, because but my minimum rule is 100 feet, minimum. At least, even that's close, but minimum. Usually it's about 150, 180, and then I'm climbing, just because that gives me eyesight around them and escape options. Is like too close? Yeah. Doesn't mean I'm always that close, but I said the minimum. But I'm kind of curious. This job switch means I'm probably going home a little later than I wanted to. Just the way, because, like I said, September, I was on it was reduced to T. And they're like, what? I've been here almost I spent my second month here. Not ready to do anything. Will you guys probably see a pay stub video at least once here? To give you an idea? Yes. But it won't be probably till I go home. And I'm thinking about going home in March. Reason why, just gives me extra money to save up, because for one, also, I have to pay the truck payment, this company, while I'm home. So what I'm probably going to do is probably how I always do it, 2 months before I go home, do two extra truck payments. First month, the second month, 2 extra truck payments, and that way that gives me at least 4 weeks to 5 weeks, depending on the month length, of normal income to go home with. Smart. See, planning ahead. That's half the mindset you have to have to really make it. The insurance is a little high here. That's something I don't like, but even with the so I'll put this perspective. It's about the truck payment this here. It's about the same as GCT, and the only reason why is because it's a full maintenance lease. You still pay an extra cent by the mile you run, and that's like somebody's paying for the maintenance. It ain't them. You're still paying for it, but they, it's not like they just take it automatically. That's what it is. It's like 11 cents per mile. Top of the truck payment. Which, whatever. I mean, but the payment is about the same either way. It might be like 3 cents higher. 3 cents per mile higher, but it's like, okay. Am I able to still make money? Yeah. Even with this truck, idling, like I said, like it is, you hear it nonstop, and like no bum heat, the 1 gallon an hour. That's really this truck's biggest issue. Well, the fucking blind spot, but whatever. That thing's a joke. Like, I don't mind safety shit, but the blind spot should not be a thing. At least not how this is currently set up. Like, I like it when it's lit up, or it's not lit up. I'm switching lanes. Nobody fucking there, because I'm obviously looking, and then it picks up the car in the furthest lane to my right. So I'm going. There's 3 lanes from me. Well, my lane, another lane, and the 3rd lane, right? I was switching over one right lane, and it'll fucking go off to the car in the furthest right lane. I'm like, no shit, I'm not that where I'm going. But anyway, it's a little random. I hate that fucking thing. Hate it. It's getting a shit on me the first week I was in this truck, getting used to it. Like, it had me pretty jumpy, because I'm like, oh shit, there's somebody there. Immediately pull back. It's like, now I just have to kind of ignore it. So I'm ignore it, which kind of defeats the purpose of safety, right? Defeats the fucking purpose. That thing's supposed to make sure you're alert or something there, but it picks up a lane that you're not even in. Like, I am halfway between this lane and the lane I'm going into, and there's still another lane. Why the fuck is it screaming at me? It is stupid loud. But whatever, temporary. I have another confirmation that the first week of December I should have a new truck. We gotta find out. I'm excited though, because I can't. But I will give you a little tease, okay? This truck, 4 trips. But that's perspective. That's like 2,800 miles or 3,200 miles. That's the 4 trips pretty much. That's what that means. I don't look at the miles, because I'm not gonna be pulling these Sharps fucking trailers forever. Like, I am not a fan, I will say. Like, I'm not a fan of dealing with them, but necessary evil for now. This truck with the overfill, because this truck goes through like an extra 90 to 120 gallons a week, depending on, if I have to reset right that week. When I say a week, I mean 7 days, every 7 days. Yeah, it's because gallon per hour, 10 hours, you get the minimum of fucking 10 hours a night when I sleep. You're gonna turn this truck off when it's 20 degrees? Fuck you. Then a 34-hour reset, so even take away 20 gallons, it's still 100 gallons. So 90 to 100 gallons. So it fucking blows. I don't always do a reset in that 7-day window. Sometimes I'm able to squeeze another trip in, and then I do a reset. So, but either way, even if you give the range, it's still like an extra where I'm filling now, and no more fucking fuel discount in Idaho, pretty much, and Utah getting up there. Like, it's $5.90 to $6. I might get down to $5.70, $5.80. So either way, it's what, $6.50 to $700 an extra week in fuel, which fucking blows. But I'm about that 3 weeks plus of what, $2,300, $2,400. So it's not great, but like I said, remember, this truck cost me an extra $50. That's gonna go away when I get out of the truck. So it gives you a little tease, what type of money I'm kind of dealing with. But that is pretty much, like I said, it is about a a 25% increase in pay on average. I mean, there's still gonna be those weeks I have three trips, and even then, it's like a 18 to 200 or 2,000 take home week. So, and that 3 trip, by the way, that's usually like 2,100 miles. So it's not great, but that's sort of kind of what I'm doing. It's kind of why I did this job, but just because it's gonna help me save, and I did just fine with 2,100 average a week. So what am I gonna be able to do with the, on average 25% increase? Because if you do the math, 25% increase, that's like what, 750 extra because of what, 2,100. 20% is 410. Okay, so 600. That's like an extra 500 in what, 30? I think. Sounds right. Sounds really, really close. But that's on the average. So it's going to be a week where I make probably a couple $100 more. I'm doing some math in my head, and doesn't mean it will happen. But based on what I'm seeing with this truck, the Volvo on the 4-trip week, I should make about 31, 32, which those are pretty common. I seem to get 4 trips in more often than not. Just depends on how the week lines up, because the week downside about this weekend, I'm usually sitting. And, like, if I pick up a little Friday, it delivers Monday. Very rarely I'll get occasionally one that delivers the weekend. That's why sometimes I get 4, sometimes I get 3. Just depends on how it sets up. But then with the 3-week one, well, I'm looking at 1,800 to 2,200. That's the range. Usually, it's probably most likely going to be 1,800 to 2,000. But like I said, so that's based on what I'm seeing with this truck, and just doing the math as if I'm not having an idle 24/7, which that's gonna help. When I get further on this truck, so it's still content for next year, but I'll probably do 1 or 2 videos of pay stubs. Like I did GCT, just to show you I'm not bullshitting. Like I don't know how many times, even at those pay stub videos, I got told, "Oh look, you only make as much as company guys." Like, yeah, okay. Like sometimes, but not a lot of companies out there. You pay 75 to 83 cents. I mean, there's some out there. Well, those aren't usually hard to get into those too. Like they don't have a lot of turnover if they're ran well, and yeah, it's not as black and white as you only make as much company guy. Like 2,100 average a week take home. By the way, you do your taxes right. Well, it depends on the state you're in. Like I don't owe taxes. I don't. So pretty much that every single dollar I made went into my pocket. But the benefit of living in a state where I only pay federal, and even then I have to pretty much make $100,000, about 115-ish take home before I owe taxes. That's based on my state. Because you still got some pretty big deductions. I fucked up 21. I had to go free file because I get my $9,000 back, and that'll help. I didn't know about deduction, and they weren't very useful, and I wasn't even knowing about. So a couple other drivers, lease purchase guys told me about it, and that saved me from anything. And I was like, oh, I didn't file that one, and I had that too. So there's that. I'm gonna refile it. But sort of when I get this, the lease truck, I will do an eventual comparison of the lease and the lease purchase and see pretty much, is I think one better than the other. But pro tip, they're about the same. They're pretty fucking close. Like this truck, I'm probably paying, like I said, 3 cents more per mile on average a week, which, whatever. And it's also running less miles. I don't run as hard here as I did GCT. So, I ran as hard as I did GCT, and here, my income would pretty much almost double. So yeah, I'm doing okay. It'd be pretty close to double. Probably be about a 60 to 70% increase. Do 100%, that's double. So it'd be pretty damn close. But I do not close to miles I was doing at GCT. Like GCT, I was doing, and pretty much a minimum was the 12,000. Last November, December, so the holidays, I did fucking 37.7 those 2 months. So I was also one of the only. I was really one of the very few drivers they had around the road. So they were throwing fucking loads at me. I did so many drop on hooks too. Oh my god, I was exhausted. Like I don't know. I found my limit. Like 15. It was like I did like 15.4 and 15.7 in November, December by itself. So found my limit. That was pushing it. I was exhausted. That was an average like 3,900 miles a week. I was exhausted. It hurt. And it was also a longer month. So before you say, that doesn't add up, it's 4 weeks. It's like, go look at those months. They weren't 4 weeks. They were 5 fucking weeks each. So go look at it. But I'm gonna fucking, I deliver tomorrow, 44 miles away in Puyallup at Fred Meyer, DC. I got slowed Sunday morning. It's like 803 miles. Just because I don't need to run hard here doesn't mean I don't. I still look on my resets. Gives me some me time, some chill time. Also allows me to get like clothes done, shop, or, haircut, etc. Take care of things on the road, which there's a lot of things that companies don't understand. It's like, oh, you don't need to do resets. It's like, yeah, but it's more than just simply driving lifestyle here I got to worry about. It's I got to shop. I like to get all my shit done in one fucking day, not spread it out across the week. Also, a lot easier to plan it that way too. So I don't know, like that's a whole different rant. Like, there's a few things I don't like about this company, both companies, but it's little shit. It has nothing major yet. But anyways, this fucking video is long enough. 32 minutes. My God, can't help me. Anyways, you guys stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Bye.